Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island viewers should be aware that the following program may contain images and names of deceased persons.
It is the front bar. It's great to be here. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh and Carlton Draft. Good to see these two blokes here. We've got a massive show. The second week of Sir Doug Nicholls' rant, of course. Derek Kickett and Nicky Winmar joining us on the show tonight. It doesn't get much better than that. Stand by for the Derek Kickett highlights. They are a thing of absolute beauty.
My favourite player ever.
Oh, Bruce Dool says hello. Your favourite player ever? Gee whiz, mate. You've changed your tune very, very quickly.
I was trying to be positive. What are you doing?
Hey, been another huge week.
But you know what? We have to show his highlights again because the last time we showed Derek Kickett's highlights, we didn't explain anything. We just went, "Whoa!"
It's very true. No, it's a very good point.
You won't see a highlights package like this.
No. So stay tuned.
You've got to stick around.
King.
For the king of the torpedo goal.
Well, don't keep the whole show away.
Hey, another big week in footy, of course. Last night, 22 young footballers were given the opportunity of a lifetime to join AFL list as part of the mid-season draft. What an opportunity for those young players to grasp the nettle now and have a crack at
Any surprises for you?
Football.
Did it go pretty much as predicted?
Yeah, no real surprises. No.
Yeah, you didn't watch it, did you?
Gotcha. I thought Collingwood was the big winner.
Do you
I was
really?
very surprised with their draftee, Greggy Maguire.
Okay,
I mean, good luck squeezing him into your salary cap. That's all.
We'll have to wait for
He'll be in the leadership group and on the board pretty soon, I think, by the way.
to wait for some
player, coach, president.
Have to wait for COVID restriction stories before he joins the Collingwood boys, of course. And again, COVID's had a major impact on what we've got to look forward to round 12. The key takeaways: Brisbane, Melbourne. A bit disappointed this wasn't at the Gabba, but it's been moved from Alice Springs to the Giants.
It's still going to be one of the great games.
It will be. A lot to look forward to. The Bombers and Richmond sold out in less than a day. That is going to be quite something at Optus Stadium. And Adelaide and Collingwood going through some very, very restrictive regulations to get that game played in at Adelaide.
And St Kilda, Sydney on Norfolk Island. I had no idea. But you do what you have to do in these troubling times.
Victorian teams and players, it's fair to say they've just fled.
Evacuated.
That's pretty much out of the state.
And you want to keep an eye on some of them, by the way. The way things are at Victoria, some of them may actually try to defect to those. You know, the Olympics, when you always some go missing. Just keep an eye on them.
They never come back.
Ukrainian wrestling team's gone missing.
You've got to stay light on your feet, obviously, with everything that's going on at the moment. The AFL doing its very, very best. And, of course, with the footy going over to Adelaide this week, the fly-in, fly-out stuff, was time to hear from South Australian health authorities about how they're going to deal with it over there. Important to hear from them. And we did this week with the Chief Public Health Officer over there in South Australia, Professor Nicholas Spurrier.
We're looking at the seating at the moment, and of course we're looking at the ball, because sometimes the ball, not that I've been to many football games, I have noticed occasionally it does get kicked into the crowd, and we are working through the details of what that will mean. If you are at Adelaide Oval and the ball comes towards you, my advice to you is to duck and just do not touch that ball.
So that's if the ball comes to you. So clearly the safest place at that ground will be directly behind the Collingwood goals. You'll be fine there.
Yeah, behind the goals, you're safe, by the way. In general play, keep on your toes, though, I reckon, you know what I mean? They could kick it out of bounds on the full from anywhere. The thing is...
And by the way, Collingwood fans are used to ducking and cover, but usually when cameras are around, usually they're leaving the local magistrate's court.
Listen, a message to Adelaide fans. If you are at that game, there are alternatives to catching the footy and ducking, which the professor doesn't want you to do, as this parent showed at the Adelaide Oval in round 6.
Right.
So you can just do that.
Are you proud of yourself?
No, listen, I'm not overly proud, and we'll just move on.
Is that a stat? Do you get something for that?
Anyway, by the way, the professor was accused of being a bit out of touch with the game. Do you know what I mean? But I think these follow-up comments shows just how much she loves the game.
And it's obviously you cannot play football at a distance of 1.5 metres from each other, and you cannot play football with full PPE.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's it, isn't it?
Callum defenders have been playing 1.5 metres away from their opponents.
Yes, they have.
And I don't think with the PPE, which is short for what?
Personal protective equipment.
Yeah, well, you can't pay because of clash hazmat suits. You know, you can't. If you got to get it right. You get the right one.
Very good point. Hey, she wasn't finished.
Playing their prison bar hazmat suits.
She's not done, though.
No.
She's come out today and she's doubled down on previous comments.
Oh.
Yeah.
The people who will be going to this football match who do try and catch the ball, as I said, regardless of COVID, this ball has been touched by many sweaty men out there on the field. Just go and sanitise your hands before you start eating your chips.
It's unbelievable.
My mum could be the Chief Health Officer of South Australia with that tone.
You know, listen to the professor. Going to the footy mightn't be that much fun this week.
It's not going to be much fun at all. I'll tell you who wasn't the slightest bit concerned about COVID regulations and the chance of getting affected by sweaty men's hands and all. That was young Etta Mason at the SCG. Isaac Heaney kicks the footy into the second deck. She claims the footy. They stole our heart, this young girl. These were beautiful scenes.
She's not letting
last Sunday afternoon.
Not letting it go, Mickey.
Not letting it go.
Great stuff.
By the way, she got more touches than Levi Casbolt, I believe. That game. Can we just go back, though, have a look at it still as she takes the photo there? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful photo?
That's great.
The costume says Sydney Swans fan. The teeth says Collingwood fan. It's just a magical moment.
Hey, the days of going to the footy and not being able to lay your hands on the Sharon as it goes over the fence. I mean, it's clearly going to be different at the Adelaide Oval.
The guy here throw it straight back, didn't he?
Well, you've got to.
Yeah,
Look,
he did, yeah.
Can I don't want to harp on this.
What?
But the correct way to return the ball was decided many moons ago by the Richmond cheer squad when they got tilt, Rod Carter, and they go, "You want the ball back? Go fetch."
It's one of the greats.
Look how heavy that... Look, you can just tell how heavy that ball is, by the way. He almost dislocated his shoulder from the back
Like a shot put.
One of the great fan-player interactions of all time. OK, you've just mentioned the Tigers there. You have been boring us to pieces, banging on about this mark. So here's your chance to talk about it, OK?
What, are we talking about the greatest mark of the modern era by Jack Riewoldt last week? Now, there's a lot to unpack here. Bang, backwards. There it is. Now, it's widely regarded. We're going to unpack all the different elements of this mark.
You say it's the greatest mark ever.
I say everyone talks about Brownies and Nick Riewoldt's as great marks, which they are.
Yep.
But they're a bit one-dimensional. They have outrageous courage, but then it's game over. That one has, I'm going to paint the pitch for you, outrageous courage. He's running backwards into the pack. It's also a hanger, so it's very athletic.
Yep.
It's a pack mark. He's reversed it, which you don't often see except off the high board.
Yes.
He's marked it, bang. He's marked it, then kicked the goal, another crucial factor. And here's the big one, guys. It also, where it occurs in the game, is the most crucial.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with that one there. By round 11 against last year's wooden spoon. But the thing is, it was a critical moment.
What do you mean?
Critical moment. Just if the defence may approach the bench.
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
It's a good, honest chess. It's a good, honest chess. It's a good, honest chess mark.
Right? Yep.
It's over. I tell you what. Yeah, taking a mark over your teammate, always great. Mabior Charles in a better position. He should have left it.
Yep. Mate, come on, you're better than that.
I'm not better than that, although I am out of reasons as to why it's not.
It
was a good mark.
It was a good mark. It's a great...
The time of the game, the time of the match, when it occurred.
No, they were coming at you. The Adelaide Crows were...
Jack kicked the last 5 goals.
His last 10 minutes was magnificent.
That was not about Jack. That was about the team. He stepped in and went, I've got this.
No Tom Lynch.
Let it go, mate. You won. It's all right. You won the game.
But do you acknowledge how good that mark?
So you've got that in 2021. You've got that better than Shai Bolton's mark for mark of the year.
Marginally.
Okay, so...
But it's the best mark.
The Richmond Quinella.
Richmond Quinella.
Yep, right.
Yeah, get on it. They've kicked the last 5 goals of the game.
Yeah,
They got within 8 points.
Yeah, we're well
And
aware
then
of
the
that
big
now.
fella, let me act it out for you. I'll tell you, this chair is...
No, we need you back.
Well,
we're at the SCG. Go on.
he hasn't been happy with that chair for a couple of
No,
weeks
he
now.
has
Do you know anyone?
Sword above the pack, and then it just went into the...
We're at the SCG a bit earlier watching that young
done,
girl
Jack.
hang on to the footy. There was an incident on the outer wing here. Liam Stocker stands up and Callum Mills whacks him right in the groin region, and there's a bit of a push and shove. Mills got $1,500 fine for that. That's one of those...
1,500? 750 a testicle.
That's right.
That's big coin.
It's one of
That's
those.
big coin.
It's one of
big
those
coin.
incidents that sort of divides the football community. And one man who knows all about the games.
Divides it?
A little bit.
What? Who's for
All
it?
about how far... No one's for it.
Who's going more of that, please?
What sort of penalty should be afforded to the perpetrator, that sort of stuff. One man who knows all about the game's dark arts is Dermot Brereton, more than anyone, and he was covering the game on Fox Footy, and this was his opinion after the match.
There are 3 things you don't do in AFL football. That's the unwritten code. You don't spit on your opposition, you don't kick your opposition, and you don't whack him in the nurries.
Fair call. Someone had to say it. That's interesting, because that's about the only 3 things Dermot Brereton didn't do in his career. So I'm presuming all this is okay. Basically, the older, you laugh about this, the old stop on the head. Well done it. Here we go. Oh, kiss Billy Duckworth on the lips, and loaf of tip top in the
Premiership. Lap of honour.
Those things are okay as long as you don't do the big 3. Fair call?
Fair call. It's a bit rich from Derm. It's like the leader of the Banditos telling you to eat your peas.
It's exactly like
It's
that.
exactly like that. That hurt me to say because obviously I'm a big Comancheros man. The thing is, Mickey,
That'll get back.
You're on your own on that.
sorry.
You've chosen your
Sorry,
side.
no.
Chosen your side.
I'll quickly clarify. Love you both. Listen, Jeremy's talking about unwritten rules, all right?
Yes, he was.
There's another rule that you've missed, Mickey. You remember Fox Footy's Game of Thrones round a couple of years ago?
Who could forget it?
Who could forget that?
And so the other unwritten rule is, as a commentator, if you are part of Game of Thrones round, that it's going to be very hard to be taken seriously if you are talking earnestly about a player and a possible season-ending injury.
This is the devastating side of football. That's a captain of a league club, head in hands, and you just absolutely forgive me for that. What he loves doing is taken away from him.
Oh, man. That's the best ever.
Did you hear I didn't hear anything.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to. Don't go anywhere. There's plenty more to come. Derek Pickett, Nicky Winmar, not too far away from joining us. It's a Richmond landmark.
It is. It's walking distance to the MCG. It's a must-stop on the way through. If you're in Victoria, you can't go to pubs, obviously. Have a think about all the publicans out there, how hard they're doing it. Go down, get some takeaways. It's all hands on deck at the moment.
Yep, they're still doing meals. A lot of them are still
big part
doing
of it.
meals, and so get down there and help them out if you can. Get active on the socials. Let us know what you're thinking about the show. Give us your feedback, all that sort of stuff. There's already been a bit of activity regarding tonight's show, what I'm being told by the control room.
Derm's caused a sensation
Oh, yeah, with the
by
Norwich,
referring to, the testicles as nurries.
Yeah.
Do you... Sounds like something from the 1940s.
Yeah, no, it was back
Would you have ever come across
when I was a kid, we used to call them nurries.
Did you?
Yeah, nurries.
What would you have gone with?
Have your nurries dropped yet? That sort of stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
Last one,
I'm glad you used it in a sentence. I didn't know what you were talking about.
So the spelling bees. Can you use nurries in a sentence?
Well, have you got any others?
I go with grapes.
Grapes.
How's the grapes?
Right.
We're all good.
Okay.
What about you? Had others though when you? Cause I know
Gonads, stones, nads, sack. plums, Podge, Scrogs.
Have you just tuning in?
I don't think...
all over the joint.
if you're just tuning in, Andy's lost his mind. What's going on?
Did you have any special favourites?
I'm a bit of a traditionalist. You know what I mean? Balls is call me old-fashioned. Going to use it in a sentence for you. No, there's heaps, mate. You know.
Of course, yeah.
Anyway, if you're out there playing on the weekend, protect your cods.
Hey, that's not the only thing the socials have been big on this week.
Oh, Matt, this is massive.
Yeah.
Now, the shirt you wore... this has been happening over time. There's a big groundswell out there of support that says...
Just went to a single for no reason.
See, that's a pretty loose... That's a loose-fitting
Absolutely,
shirt.
nice and comfortable. Nice and comfortable.
Let's have a look at the one you wore on Have You Been Paying Attention a week or so ago.
Yeah. It's beautiful brown number.
Yeah.
Shut.
What? Are you on the roids? Are you jacked? What is going on underneath that shirt?
I can't help... Thanks for mentioning, that other show too.
It's a good show.
Some of us, for others, this show isn't their only gig. But, I'm just saying, it's not my fault if the wardrobe department on that show, can't afford a shirt that fits me.
But are you working out?
No, you look good, mate. Be proud. Don't hide away from it.
Take your shirt off.
Embrace your...
Take your shirt off. Do it.
I'll take my
You've been wearing tight.
I'll take my shirt off when you put some pants on.
By the way, you should see how tight his jocks are. They're incredible.
No, you should be proud.
I'm going to show some footage of you winding down after the show last week.
What?
Yeah, you are winding down.
Oh, God.
Really? Geez, you ever had a big week? That you had a whole week to get
shirts, though. What are you up to?
I nothing.
Last week you popped a button. You nearly took Serge's eye out. He's wearing a helmet this week. What is it all about?
It wouldn't have no effect on Serge's performance at all.
What are you doing?
No, nothing. I'm doing nothing. I'm just trying to take care of myself, by the way.
It's not a crisis or anything,
you should try to wear something a little bit more snug, like a 4XL or something. Get in there. Murray, move it along.
By the way,
trying to.
It's okay to work on the arms, but do the legs occasionally. You look like one of those ventriloquist dolls. You flop the little legs over the top.
I'm telling you now.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. He's got you.
You two are keep a close eye on your nurries during the day.
Big 3-7's not too far away. We're not quite sure where it's going to be yet, but it is going to happen. Neil Danaher lives by the mantra play on, and that is exactly what's going to happen, whether it be here or whether it be somewhere else. These are the sliders we already know about. It's an all-star cast, arguably the best group of sliders we've ever seen, I reckon, since
hang on. Let's not forget the inaugural group.
Since your crew went down to begin
the first ones who went down the slide when it was uncharted territory.
Were you part of the first one?
I was, yeah.
Good on them all for doing it.
Had to go down after Mark Robinson. It's like an oil slick. Wow,
that's it. Jeez, we're not missing many tonight. What's going on?
Stay tuned. If you haven't been mentioned yet, there's a fair chance you're coming up pretty soon. Beck and Neil couldn't be with us tonight, of course, the Danahers, who have been the power behind the fight against the beast, of course. The next two are being announced, and it's with great pleasure that we throw it over to Beck and Neil Danaher.
Hi everyone, it's Beck and Neil here, and we're excited to announce two further sliders. Now the first one is Big Billy, both big in personality and stature. Well, he was a champion key forward for the Mighty Cats. Dad, who is it?
Mama.
The second nomination for tonight is a big TV and radio personality. He is currently part of the top-rating breakfast radio show in Ross and Russell on 3AW, and a tragic demon.
Russell Howcroft.
Yes. And without further ado, Russell Howcroft joins us.
Hello, mate.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
That is pretty good. Congratulations and welcome
Thank you.
aboard.
That's
it's an exclusive club.
I know. Well, I didn't realise you were first up. I knew that. I obviously was aware that you've done it.
No, I was pioneered this territory.
Really?
Yeah.
Good on you, Mick.
Yeah, they told me it was a pool bar.
I feel like I need to...
I said, I'll do it.
I feel like saying, well, you chuck me over the beanie. I feel like I need to...
Put the beanie on, sure.
Well,
just whatever I'm told. No,
yeah, I know.
All good?
Yeah, that's right. So,
and by the way, I think your shirt's tighter than Sam.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You've been working...
What do you think of the little... Do you like my little logo?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, I've been trying to flog this logo to the Demons for more than a decade. You'd think they'd pick it up, wouldn't you?
Oh, why they haven't?
No.
For what reasons?
I don't know.
This is your strong suit. This is what you're good at, marketing and publicity. And, of course, the other one was Billy Brownless, who goes in. I think that's a great choice, too.
Yeah.
What's the name of that white whale? Migaloo. He is going to look like Migaloo. You get in there before Migaloo because there'll be a lot of water displacement.
As a great Melbourne man, the fact that Neil Danaher has asked you must have great pride that you're part of this crew.
Yeah, well, I got to meet Neil probably a decade ago when I was more involved with the D's, when I was on the board, and, of course, it was a great thrill to meet him. He was a seriously successful coach of the D's as well.
Absolutely.
You know, we didn't win a flag, but we did play in a grand final. Got belted, of course. But I think between 95 and 2005, we certainly played more finals than Carlton and Richmond and Collingwood. We were the second most finals playing Victorian side, other than Essendon, Sam, under Neil Danaher, right? Known as the Reverend.
Yep. Hasn't always been plain sailing, though, has it, Samuel? You're a bit of a historian of...
No, I wanted to say congratulations on going down the slide, and also, obviously, a big hello to Neil. Obviously, he's had a tough week when he goes through the list of people that go down the slide and he finds out that you're all that's left. I love you, Neil, but maybe next year might be time for a new idea, if you know. I'm just saying, for Melbourne supporters, it has been tough. You mentioned it, Russell. A bit up and down.
Yes.
But I tell you what, you're flying this year.
We're going okay.
But as you mentioned, and as Nathan Jones mentioned, it hasn't always been the case.
More so just the fans that have stuck with us for so long, and man, it's been a shit journey at times.
Not even at times. Well, most times. Right?
Most times. No, absolutely. Well, in his first year, I think he played finals in his first year, and then it took until 2018 to get another crack at it, and he's just played 301.
Yeah.
And he was there through a pretty bad period.
Geez, I hope he's kind of back in the team at the right time.
Yeah,
Russell.
well, I hope so for him as well. Try growing up. Try growing up in the 70s, barracking for the D's.
Yeah.
Pretty much as bad as it was over the last 10 years or so. We didn't have a whole lot of joy.
Hey, congratulations to the Demons. It's great to watch you play. You're doing very well. You wear so many hats, and you're so good at your job with marketing and advertising in particular.
Thank you.
We thought we'd pick your brains on some of the campaigns that have gone through, and we just want to get your thoughts on them. Can we start with Dusty? Now, this is one of the biggest campaigns ever, and I was shocked to read this. Dusty helps Bonds kick a $500 million goal. Does that ring true to you, and is that man and his personality enough to impact that bottom line?
No doubt about it.
Wow.
He's incredibly attractive, isn't it? So it just makes me... When my wife rang me a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, we were playing Richmond-Melbourne, and she rang me and said, have you heard that Dusty might not be playing? And then there's lovely pause, and she said, which is sort of good, but kind of bad too, because she wants to go and watch him.
I'm watching play.
Right? And so unbelievably attractive in many cases. And of course, he's not talking.
No,
it's a very important part of getting it right.
Yes,
is just use the physique Beckham. And go from there.
David Beckham looks great. Yeah. Please don't talk.
Please don't talk. Exactly.
Russell, do you think the fact that he is so exclusive and so private, does that help the campaign?
No doubt about it. And he's been he and his management have been very clever around when do you talk and when do you not talk, and when you're exposed and when are you not exposed. And it's only now, so how many games has he played, Mick? More than 200. It's only now that he actually is, really exploiting brand Dusty.
Is it the most impactful underpants campaign?
Where's this going? What Dusty did for Bonds, right, do you think that Mick had a similar response for Calvin?
I'm just... Has there been some enhancement there, Mick?
Hey, you can see the agates. I should have gone with Norries.
Yes.
That wouldn't have been as successful, I'm assuming.
Oh, that's good value, isn't it?
Was that real?
Oh, that's real. And by the way...
that actually happened?
The camera adds £10, mostly in the lunch. What about the balance? What about the balance now between the star value? So you got your star value up here.
Yeah.
Can you then just sacrifice all production costs?
No. Again, that's why the Bonds thing is so successful, because it's beautifully shot. It's not shot on, your iPhone, which does happen a lot. So it's all about production values, Mick. Thank you.
When you say this is not shot well, where did this fall down?
You hungry? You want something to eat? I've got something for you. Here you go. Holy... What? You want souvlaki? Well, you'll have to impress me, monkey. Souvlaki up. You'll do anything to get one.
Seriously.
It's a pity, really, isn't it?
So you've got a huge star of the game.
Yeah,
and they let themselves down in the special effects department.
They have a little, haven't they? But the best thing is at the end when he's doing Zorba the Greek, right?
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to do that all over again, you just get him doing Zorba the Greek. And I don't even get what's the idea with the appalling animated gorilla.
No one knows.
No one knows, right? It's a mystery.
To improve that, I would have had a big game hunter come in right at the end. Really sharpen things up.
Thanks for coming on, mate. It's been a joy to see your footy team do what it's doing this year. They're one of the most exciting stories of the year. Good luck to them. And we can't wait to see you go to the booth. All the very best. Russell Howcroft, who's going to be running down the slide. Beck and Neil Danaher telling us all about that tonight. Derek Kickett to join us on the other side of the break. As we go to the break, the other bloke going down the slide with Russ has been announced tonight. Let's hear from the one and only Bill Brownless.
G'day, Billy Brownless here. I am pumped to be part of the Big Freeze number 7 to fight MND and, of course, to help the great Neil Danaher, who I've loved for a long, long time. We went to the same school, Assumption College, Kilmore. I was certainly a better scholar than him. He was probably a better sports person, but what a great man. And we're all in it together to fight this beast and to beat this beast.
To the show. Great to have you with us. Second week of Sir Doug Nicholls round, of course. It's a great time for us to pay homage and pay our respects to the Indigenous footballers who have made such a magnificent impact on our national game. And what better way to do it than welcome our next guest and spend some time with him. What a footballer he was. Derek Kickett, everybody! Hello, mate. Been a long time. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, it's been probably a couple of 2 or 3 years, I think.
It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Have a look at it. Go on.
Well, you were on the last time you were on. We just didn't do it justice, did we?
No, we didn't. We had so many clips and we couldn't get to them all, and then we talked over most of them because we were so excited. Yeah. So can we write a highlights package?
Let's have a look at the first highlights. We're going to look at your time in the AFL. Did you have a position? Because you played everywhere. Did you have a position on the ground where you thought you played your best footy?
Probably on the ball.
On the ball, yep. Just free range, ruck rove, go wherever you want, just hunt the footy. Yeah. How often were you given the latitude to do that?
Probably when I was at Claremont, I did in 1987. I had a really good year with Jared Neeson. And then when I came over to Essendon, I played a few in the centre and half-back flank and half-forward flank. Yeah.
How important was it to you, Derek, to be entertaining?
Well, we play footy for the crowd, so you've got to give the crowd what they want. And so, I had faith in my skills and, practicing all those skills all those times, you give that to the crowd and it's, play your natural game, I suppose.
You are aware there's a fine line between talent and just showing off. This is the equal to... We've done a lot of these packages, but this is as good as any highlights package we've ever put together.
That kick is me, and we're leaving out the best stuff. We'll get to that in a moment. Did you get restless at clubs? I mean, you play West Perth, Claremont, Central District, North Melbourne, Essendon, Sydney, Subiaco in your senior career. Did you get restless at footy clubs? Did you always look for a change? Were you looking for something fresh on the way through?
No, probably not. Probably after the 93, I probably wanted to go look for another club. Yeah, so it wasn't through no fault of my own.
No.
What about this? We've just seen you play at the highest level. Let's go back to when you're 11 years old, Derek, at Tamman Primary School.
Oh,
have a look at you there. I don't know, but part of me just wanted you to have a moustache back then, but then...
I think I had a shave the day before that photo.
You shaved that day for the photo. It's good to know. Mate, at 11 or as a junior, were you a good? Did you know you were a good player at, at a young age?
Well, I remember that photo. Although my teammates there, so hello to all my Tamman teammates there, the Wadjala mates and the Noongar mates there. But I do remember because I kicked 22 goals in one game.
That's generally a good actually a fair lead, I reckon, that you got a bit of ability. Yeah. So it started...
I think he had an inkling. He was okay.
I think I was playing half-back flank, though.
So it starts at West Perth and Claremont before you came over here, or then you went to Adelaide, of course. Who was the biggest influence when you first turned pro and you started playing state league footy? Who was the biggest influence on your career to that stage?
Probably all through my footy career, probably Larry Kicker was my cousin.
Yep.
Ended up playing for East Perth.
Yep.
Played over 200 games and played for Claremont. Played in the premiership, but also my uncle, who actually coached me in junior level as well, he passed away a long time ago, Lionel Yanis. I think it's one of those photos I gave you, sent you, but he was sort of my mentor and sort of looked after me all through my footy career, sort of growing up. Yeah.
You play in the Waffle till you're 26. Did you ever...
I started when I was 21.
And then
Waffle.
When you went to North at though, 20, when you went to North, 26?
North, 26, yeah.
So when you're playing in the Waffle, you're 23, 24, 25. Did you ever doubt that you were going to come and play in the AFL?
No, I've always wanted to play AFL, so VFL at the time, yeah. So, and to get that opportunity, you got to work hard and do the right things and go to training. And I used to love training, even though it was bloody hard. I used to always go to training and do the hard work because I knew I had the skills. So get myself fit was, work hard for about 3 months and then you work, get yourself fit. And so you always look at that skill. That skill is never going to disappear. So you get yourself fit and you know you're going to be right. And so I did all that, and so I knew that one day, sooner or later, I'll get the opportunity to play in the AFL.
Well, in '87, you have one of the greatest Waffle seasons of all time.
Jared Neesham says it's the greatest single season he's ever seen a footballer have.
In the Sandover Medal.
Anywhere in Australia.
In the Sandover Medal in '87, you grabbed 46 votes, right? 16 clear of anyone else. But you're ineligible because you get suspended for 3 weeks, right? You got 3 weeks for hitting Tim Jebb.
So what was 16 and he missed three.
Missed three games. So he probably would have won it by 25 if he didn't get suspended. So let's have a look at the actual incident that cost you a Sandover Medal. There's you and that's Tim Jebb.
You got 3 weeks for that.
3 weeks for that.
I don't understand.
What were you doing?
I was shooing the flies from his face. It was a hot day. It was about 40 degrees. About 40 degrees that day.
You're doing him a favour. You should have been rewarded.
It's an open hand slap at the very, very worst, I reckon.
Well, he knew what number I was wearing. I didn't know what number he was wearing because he was always behind me.
That's unbelievable. So Sam's asked you about 26 at North. You come over. Who got you over? Who was the... Remember who first was your point of contact?
It would have been Greg Miller.
Right, OK, yeah.
Greg Miller, North Melbourne,
So did he have to talk you... Was it a hard conversation to convince you to come over, or was it easy push over?
It was easy, yeah.
Yeah.
He just give me
and why North Melbourne?
Well, because they picked me.
Well,
I had no choice.
What I'm getting at is Phil and Jim Cracker were very important to you and like idols of you going up. Yep. So did that weigh on you and your decision to go to North, or was it just an amazing situation that you ended up playing with your idols?
Yeah, probably it was just an opportunity, I suppose. It just happened that North Melbourne was the club that gave me the opportunity. But I did have an opportunity when I first started at West Perth when I was about 21. Shane O'Sullivan, who was
don't tell me.
Who was the scouts
at Carlton?
At Footscray.
Okay, right.
The boys are a bit shell-shocked about it.
So he came over to see me and he spoke to the footy manager at West Perth, and I think he told the West Perth football coach told him to go away because Phil Bradshaw was my footy team mate at the time. He goes, "Oh, did you catch up with Shane O'Sullivan?" I said, no, what do you mean? He goes, well, he came over to have a chat to you. And I said, well, I'd never heard nothing about it. He'd never come and see me. So West Perth at the time didn't even allow him to come and see me. So I was dirty on the footy club.
Were the Crackers, as a teammate, were they remarkable up close to watch do their thing?
Yeah, well, I used to watch them all the time at Claremont, and just the skills they used to do was unbelievable, you know. And when they came over to the VFL, at the time, they turned it on again, even more.
Let's, Mick. There was a game in 1992 versus Geelong where I tell you what, you wouldn't know if you were there. You wouldn't know where to look, right?
Some people say it was the best era of footy, that late 80s into the early 90s.
Derek up one end, Gary Ablett's up the other. But I know that you had a reputation, Derek, for making the difficult look very, very easy.
God,
I put it to you, mate. I put it to you, mate, that you could make the easy look very, very difficult, like a simple shot for goal.
Let's have a look at what Derek Kickett can do with this.
Unbelievable. Can I ask? Sorry, go on. What were you going to say about that?
I think I told this story before. Like, that was the second time I had to do the goal kick, because the first time I did it, the umpire called me back and said, no, you can't do that. You've got to go back and wait till the whistle. So I had to go back and do it again.
So they knew what
Geelong knew what I was going to do.
They still couldn't stop.
Mate, I can't believe you didn't run around the goal umpire, by the way you were going. But yeah, like I said, Mickey, it was just an unbelievable.
It was kick it up one end, and there was a bloke who
Gary Ablett Senior up the other end. As a Richmond supporter, I've seen most of his best games up close.
Same game, same quarter,
and oopsie. And dobbed it. Anyone at the ground that day will remember this for the rest of their life.
I mean, of all the footy you've seen, and it's probably hard because you were playing at the time, but did you know that you were playing in an era when footy was at a very, very high level? Yeah. It's a pretty good. I mean, it was pretty good one, and up until sort of the late 90s, early 2000s, the game was in a very, very healthy state.
It was good. It was good. Like to get a kick or get an easy free kick, it was hard to get a kick. So you had to work hard, and the good players were on your one-on-one. It was more one-on-one contest, which is good, and so you were playing up against good players, and so it was good. Yeah.
Looking at that game, by the way, like I said, you didn't know where to look. Gary Ablett's up one end, and you're down the other end. You took the mark of you may have taken the mark of the century that day, but like I said, you didn't know where to look, including the cameraman.
Well, Gary Ablett is up on his feet. This is wonderful footy.
The director of that coverage has cost you Mark of the Year.
He owes you a car.
What was car then?
Can I ask, fill us in, what did we miss? What did you do?
I can't remember that. I think I was right up on his stand on his shoulders.
I think it sounds like an absolute beauty.
I think you could see your house from there. Just to give
that's
the
a big miss, by the way.
That's a massive
It's a big miss.
I missed out on the car.
Serge, you weren't working that day, were you? That'd be a massive surprise.
It's heartbreaking, as you said, heartbreaking. And to put it in a modern context, imagine if that had happened to Jack Riewoldt on the weekend. I mean, just to put it in context.
All right. Breaks for Graham across his body. Here comes Joel. They all go.
Imagine if we never knew.
Terrible. What we would have missed out on. Hey, Derek, don't go in. There's a whole lot of stuff to talk to you about. Were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, you've been pumping iron.
He's rock hard.
Can't go anywhere. There's more of that when we come back.
Get away from me.
And there's also the most unbelievable package of Derek Kickett torpedoes. If you haven't seen them before, tell your mates about it. It's all happening on the other side of this.
Brothers and sisters and Indigenous people from all around the world.
on one of the great games of the year, the Dreamtime game. It was magnificent in Darwin. It's been at the G, obviously. It's going to be over in the West at Optus Stadium this year. Derek,
how good's that going to be at Brilliant Stadium?
Well, a footy mad town, sold out in 17 hours, Derek. It gets taken all over. This has become one of the great nights of footy, and they're going to love it over in WA.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at the sell-out because I know the WA love their footy over there, especially a lot of the Aboriginal community. They love their footy, and they'll come over from Kalgoorlie all the way from Geraldton all the way down south as well. So it's going to be a massive opportunity for WA to present that good footy case.
It's going to look fantastic. The pre-show is as good a moment as there is in our season, and I can't wait to see it in that magnificent stadium. And as for the game, well, it's two Victorian teams for the locals to hate. So they'll have a great time.
Derek, we got a segment on our show that we absolutely love. It's called Rewriting the Rules. Thanks to Carlton Zero. And there is, when it comes to you and rewriting the rules, there's only one place to go.
I just want to say this. We showed you a highlights package and we deliberately deleted possibly your strong suit, which is kicking torps for goals. And what we've put together, and this is rewriting the rules because no one's allowed to do it these days, and the fact that you did it so regularly is just off the charts. Let's have a look. Predetermined, were you allowed to do it, or did you just go, I'm going with this?
I'm just going with it.
For God's sake, they're at the heights.
Did a coach ever tell you, don't kick him, don't stop kicking him?
Well, it only tell me if I didn't kick a goal.
Yeah.
So
who taught you? Who taught
Boom,
you?
shakalaka.
Didn't matter whether you're on the run or set shot. I mean, that's ridiculous. Who taught you how to kick this?
Taught myself.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yep, just came to you naturally. On the run, no one can do this. Like, very few people in the history of the game.
It's a torp on the run for a goal. There's no category for that.
Is there one that you look at, you remember kicking, that's your favourite of all of them, whether it be over in WA or here?
Probably the one at the MCG when I kicked it after taking a mark against John Worsfold and kicking it.
Well, was that one there? That one right there. That was it. Well, there's one coming up.
They just keep coming.
This one goes 80, I reckon.
How far it goes. Forget about Blighty. That goes 25 metres into the crowd.
It's extraordinary.
This was your last kick in footy. I mean, you kicked one off the ground after this, but your last... Do you realise that was your last proper kick?
The 96 grand final.
96, yeah.
That was your farewell gift to footy at the level.
And it was a torp. Oh.
Yeah.
Can't be happy with
That's one of the great packages of all time. No way.
Oh, yeah.
Just before you do, I've done some research and I've got some statistics, and this is interesting. Wow. So you were clearly most torps for goal in history. Derek Kickett way out in front. Gary Ablett, no surprise there. Malcolm Blight, Nicky Winmar, Peter Dagos, Sav Rocker, and of course Dustin Fletcher. Quite surprising because he played most of his football in the back line. But
are they official stats?
No, it's just what I reckon.
I was going to say, I thought I had more than 20.
No, you can't go and you can't do everything. So I just put together a list of what I thought.
So it's not what champion data. That's not champion.
Well, if you have 20 rounds in a game, I'd do one round.
Exactly. That's more Mickey data. But you're clearly out in front. Clearly out in front.
Well, it's a big honour for you, Derek. Obviously.
Can you pass that over? Can you just show me?
Drill it, handball.
Because it's a bit of a lost art, Derek, the torp. We don't see much of it. Can you show me how you held it? Like, did you...
Well, it's not how you... Well...
Do you want to let one go?
Yeah, come around. Come around if you... I want to show you. Go on. Don't kick it.
No, not kick it.
But, yeah.
That's my last name, Kick It. But, that's it. Just hold on.
Right, hold on to that. Yep.
But it's... So some guys try and hold it too much on the slant. It's not... You've got to just give it a little bit on the slant, and then it's all about the technique of dropping the ball and hitting on the perfect spot.
So what part of
the perfect spot's underneath here?
Right on the bottom of the footy. And do you hit it on the top of your foot, or do you hit it... What part of the boot do you make contact?
That's your foot there. You got to hit it sort of halfway between the end of the toe and the halfway mark.
Yep, that's how I would have done it.
Very easy. Very easy for you to say. I mean, he was a magnificent kick of the torpedo, but I know you've got a particular favourite.
All of Derek's, by the way, my favourite player ever.
Yep.
But the torp's not always just about distance, by the way, are they? I mean, I remember Darryl White's in 1996 from the boundary line. Very underrated torp. This almost delicate. It's just a little shot for goal from the boundary line, Derek. What do you make of this one, mate? Look at that. That's just beautiful, isn't it? It's good. Do you ever do that?
No, I just sort of run around with it. That's too easy. I'd run around the spot.
Yeah, I know.
What about this one?
Can
I show you this one? This is one of my favourite torps. This is Plugger. And what's he thinking here?
Oh, God.
Bang. Homicidal thoughts, I would have thought. Do you remember that?
That was a big torp he did too.
Well, it was a big torp, and it could have been in tears.
I think he hit some old lady up the ground.
Nicky, if you watched the footy back in the day, you remember who was sitting behind those goals, and that was Plugger was effectively kicking it into an old people's home. By the way, it was very, very dangerous.
So the time at Essendon's been spoken about enough. But so at the end of '93, you look like you lost to the VFL, the AFL. You go and play a game. A footy for Tatura. How did this come about? There you are.
In the Golden Valley?
How did this come about, Derek?
Oh, well, I thought, I wanted my dream got shattered because I missed out on playing the grand final that I've always wanted to do, was playing the premiership. And I thought, I just wanted to retire and go out and play out in the bush and get back to playing footy because that's where I'm from, the country. And so, I know that when you play country footy, it's about the community and it's about having fun out in the community. So I wanted to get back to playing good footy out in the country.
Is this a moment that dawned on you? You may have made a mistake.
It was.
You're going, hang on a second.
It was in that game, though, but I think it was about halfway through the third quarter I realised, I said, well, I shouldn't be here.
No. And was it your wife who convinced you that, or she might have even called Sydney, was she key to getting you to the Swannies?
Yeah, I think Tatura's about probably 2-hour drive, I think, from Melbourne, and as we were driving back, me and my wife, I didn't speak to her the whole way back because I was a bit quiet and I wanted to. I realised that I shouldn't have been out in the field, and so I think she knew what was going on because the next day she rang up Kevin Egan, who was at Sydney Swans at the time, and he used to be at Essendon. So she rang him up and said, "Oh, look, Derek's what's the chance of getting Derek down up at Sydney Swans?" And he said the same thing. He goes, "Oh, well, it's funny you mentioned that because we were just about to ring up and see if he wanted to come back."
Fantastic. It's so great that you weren't lost.
Worked out well,
It was great that you got the extra.
So I had to thank my wife for that.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Good on you, Dan. Still, by the way, at Tatura, still bigger crowds than you played in front of North. But
there was no hard feelings. I mean, they realised that that I wanted to still have another crack at AFL.
Yeah, well, you still had 3 or 4 years left at the highest level. You get to Sydney.
You get to play in a grand final.
You get to play in a grand final, and obviously you didn't win the granny, but the prelim is a very special moment. It was. Can you tell us about the build up to this game? This is a preliminary final against your old club that had let you go. And, mate, did you have any doubt Plugger was going to kick it?
He was always going to kick that goal, all point. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Didn't matter.
But, it was funny. Like, before that game, though, we heard a rumour that the Essendon Footy Club made up shirts to play in the grand final.
Already designed their grand final
Designed the T-shirts, and so all us boys heard about that rumour, and then so we thought, well, we'll give them something to play about.
If you had that kick, would you have kicked the top?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have run around the play because I wouldn't have played.
Sorry, would have been gone.
Well, they took to you there, and you made a great impact at the Swans. And probably the most famous moment of all time up in Sydney was Plugger kicking his 1300. A huge occasion. But even though the spotlight was on him, the fans didn't forget you, and you were honoured for all time in this moment with this impersonation.
I think I retired by then.
They just wanted to know that's a huge impact and a great tribute from the rank and file at the Sydney Swans.
Well, you're old teammates of Plugger, and it's your lifelong mission to get him on the show.
Do you think there's any chance that we could get...
Yes, we will not get him on the show.
So we're flat about it.
We tried.
No chance of getting him on.
No chance.
Nicky's coming on the show a bit later on, so we might get you back a little bit later on. But before you go now, I know you got a special shout-out you want to send to somebody who might be watching tonight. Yeah,
I just want to say a cheerio to my son who's in the hospital at the moment. He's had a bit of a car accident, so... through no fault of his own, so just hoping he's getting well. He's been there for over 2 months now, so hope he's going well.
Yeah, well, sir.
Absolutely. Wish you all the very best. We'll get you back a bit later on when Nicky comes in.
Mate.
Good on you, mate. Derek kicking out. Very, very special guest. What a joy it is having him on the show. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Mix Multi.
Friday Night Footy starts at 7 on 7 Mate with the Telstra Friday Night Countdown. News, Views, expert insight. Your home for the most comprehensive preview of footy's biggest nights. Start your weekend right.
And the snap is there!
With the Telstra Friday Night Countdown. 7 p.m. on 7 May.
Welcome back to the show. It is the Front Bar. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. We absolutely love it.
Right, what a beer.
Sam, what have you got there, my friend? You've got the... I'll tell you what you've got.
I was going to say, maybe you would tell me what I've got.
You've actually got
Mate, this is a beautiful ball.
The official Kangaroo Jack sharing Indigenous footy. It's available at kangaroojack.com.au. Proceeds go to the Dalama Mock Byron Education and Leadership Program supporting Indigenous youth in the community based at the Narana Aboriginal Cultural Centre. You can head to our Instagram page for more details and your chance to get your hands on one of those footies.
Can you just flex for us while you do that? Can you get the guns out?
I'm not feeling safe in this workplace. I'm just letting you know.
Round 12, of course, we've got the abbreviated round now with a couple of teams going to the bye mode. That's what we've got to look for. I reckon that Melbourne-Brisbane game would have been quite something in the Gabba, but playing at the neutral venue, some good games of footy to look forward to. That's what we've got in store. But without further ado,
let's do it.
It's the time for Mix Multi.
We're raising a lot of money. We're raising a lot of money. What I've done for MND, you wouldn't know.
So for everyone you get wrong, the good people at Sportsbet kick in $2,000 that goes to Fight MND, which
and the money's rolling in.
We're up to we are up to $18,000
well
raised.
Done, Sportsbet. Well done, Sportsbet.
Because of your ineptitude, we've raised 18 grand.
We're out in front, and I'll tell you what, we might raise some more tonight. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, we are. My word, we are.
Buckle up, muchachos. Here we go. First up, you know, guys, bears can be a nuisance in the States, but I don't think this owner had the smartest way of dealing with one or while trying to protect her pets. There's a young girl, watch her. Bear comes in for the dogs, and here she comes. This is extraordinary footage, and rushes out and gotcha. That is amazing.
It's extraordinary.
When you say bear comes back for more, and off she runs. That is fantastic.
Yep.
I'd like to wager that girl is in a bit of trouble. Because when you choose to bump instead of tackle, you've got to pay the consequences. And she's wide open. By the way, that's the first don't argue I've ever seen on a bear. Can I have that?
No, you can't have that. No.
By the way, the bear's had a shocker. The bear's had a shocker. He's been pushed off the fence by
a middle-aged woman.
That's not the story the bear's telling. She snuck up on me. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't see it coming. It was sneak attack. The bear's had a shocker.
No, you know what my favourite part of that was? Your first words. Bears can be a nuisance. You can't. What happened, mate? What happened?
Whatever you wanted, you can't have it. But how about you take Bear Grylls to run a place at Wanganui in race 8, and I'll give you $5 the place.
I like it.
Well,
I do indeed.
The Wanganui fix is in.
That bear's had a shock.
It had a shock.
I'm with you. All right, second leg. Here we go. Watching live sport can be stressful, especially when you're as emotionally invested as this dog is. I mean, you have a look.
Palla tagliata.
Watch.
Messa fuori, c'è Pirlo, ancora Pirlo di tacco.
Pretty good.
I love it.
That's pretty good.
I'd like to wager that dog was also watching Jack Riewolds' mark on the weekend.
It breaks for Graham across his body. Here comes Chol. They all go up.
You can't have it.
Hours in editing. Hours in editing.
Between that and the Photoshop, you've had a big week.
You can't have whatever you can't have it. But how about you take the Bulldogs to win by 25 plus and leave you 210?
I like it. Let's go. Third leg, the premiership leg. It's all important. When you have a tip on a horse, it's sometimes a mad rush to get your bet on. But keep an eye on the window at the bookies here. Have a look what's happened. Here, you have a go. And oh no.
Oh no.
I'd like to wager that horse thinks it's a pretty good chance in the next.
I think you may be right, but you can't have it. How about you take Pocket of Terror to win at Menangle, race 6.
Oh, well, the Menangle fix is in.
And I'll give you $4. Cheerio to all the good people in Menangle.
I'll take it.
Right.
OK, to boot this home, look, we've been getting a lot of feedback about a certain member of the team and their fashion choices, especially when it comes to the size of their shirt. Of course, this shirt worn on Have You Been Paying Attention? Caused a...
Not many can get away with brown.
I'd like to wager that is the second worst shirt he's ever worn on telly. Oh. Hello! Just before his audition for The Boy from Oz. I think that was... Do you remember that?
Well, that was from a short-lived SBS show called ADBC.
Was that from your own personal collection, or...?
Yeah, no, I actually made that one myself.
Can I have that?
You can't have it, but how about you take...
No.
How about you take Sydney to win, and I'll give you 25 points
Bag it
plus
up. What do we got?
against the Saints, and I'll give you 210. What do you reckon? Here is what... $88. You like look at that?
I love it.
Get on Nick's Multi, Sportsbet app, Nick's Multi in the Megabet section of the app. And if you are having a go, gamble responsibly. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a pretty special last shout on the other side of this, I reckon.
Saturday on 7, Queensland racing continues with Oaks Day at Eagle Farm, where the girls take centre stage.
Winning ways has won the Oaks from either.
Plus, there's winter riches on offer at Rose Hill and Flemington. Group 1 racing, 3 states, 1 channel.
Photos on the wall that I see myself put into my skin, it does sort of knocks you around a bit after all those years.
When's the last time you were racially abused?
Probably today, and I haven't even seen my Twitter account. Every day I'm racially vilified, abused, attacked. Still.
Definitely had a massive impact on my mental health. Having to go see counsellors, substance abuse.
Sort of think about maybe if it's going to happen to you, and I do think twice about that.
To stand up, be proud of your identity, regardless if you're Indigenous, non-Indigenous. That's a message that everyone can do this.
Can you tell us about when you did it?
I didn't want to bring it up, but...
They can be a Nicky Winmar and stand up, call it out.
I just really hope that I haven't ruined his life.
I mean, it's not going to go away. Just there for the rest of my life.
Coming soon, it's coming Saturday night, we'll see Pete Dixon's film. Nathan Lovett-Murray was the real driver of that, the ripple effect. We'll see it on 7 after the Dreamtime game. I reckon
it's like a fairly important piece of work.
Yeah, and they're going to do a 20-minute cut-down version that's going to go into schools all around Australia, which I reckon is really, really important. One of the central characters of that movie is a great friend of everybody here at the front bar, and he joins us with Derek Kickett. Please make him welcome, Nicky Winmar.
Hello.
Lovely to see you, mate.
How are you? How are you, Andy? Good.
Look at that. There's a bit of footballing horsepower behind that desk.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Right. Where did you go? Come on.
Did Yours
is a bit loose.
I was told to wear a nice shirt today, and I didn't know Sam's going to... I didn't bring a watch today, Sam. Come on.
Yeah. You can have mine if you want.
Did Ludby's... Wayne's magnificent human being. Did Ludby's photo ruin your life? Was it too heavy a cross to bear for you?
If that wasn't taken, it would have been a different story. So, I mean, we all know that it was at the time. I didn't know myself till the next day when it was taken, and it's just the way the story goes now, and it's always going to be there for the rest of our lives. So I'm good friends with Wayne. Yeah. I talk to him every now and then to say hello and see how he is, and he sends me a few pictures still, which is good.
What about you two? What's your history? So you're cousins, and where did you first meet up and play football? Or take us back to the start.
Well, I'm a Pinchley boy. I grew up in Upper Great Southern, but my hometown was Calabrian, which is not far from Derek's.
20 k's up the road.
So I'm Avon descent as well. So, and saw Derek play one day at, was it Leederville or West Perth Oval? Or one of the grounds, what is he?
I don't know, West
Anyway,
Perth,
he kicked 8 goals. We're saying, who's this bloke? And, you know, like, I was only like, I represent the upper grade Southern, which is the senior side that played. I was only 15, and Derek was about, about 12?
About 18.
18. Derek was 18.
He was 12, but he got a mistake.
Like, just to see the way he... Well, we were like... I said, oh, who's this guy? Where's he from? And all of a sudden, I went to South Freo at the age of 16, that year after, and Derek was at West Perth and sort of caught up.
Derek, who was better?
Well,
we beat him, so I was better than him. he played in the upper Great Southern Association, and they played against our team, which is Avon Association. And so I didn't realise he was my cousin until after the game that we were
How'd you find out?
Because I asked who he is, and they said, oh, he's a Winmer. And I said, oh, well, he's related to me.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah.
That's what I knew, because my great-grandmother's a Winmer. Yeah.
Was he the best kick of a top, Nicky? Was he the best? I mean, you could latch onto one.
It was amazing.
He was unbelievable.
Derek would do, just turn around and just do it like that in 2 steps.
Yeah,
like, I'd probably go back and go and do one, but...
So I like how you're not correcting him at all, Derek. Just let him go. Just let him go.
You got to respect the elders, you know.
Two of the best highlights reels we've ever put together on this show. They're standing right there.
We're surrounded by these magnificent jumpers. The stories they tell are phenomenal. This is the Essendon jumper. Well, this is the Bomber jumper that we've got here. And
Brisbane, the old Fitzroy.
Chris Johnson designed that.
That's great.
Nice.
And I've got the Melbourne one here, while Nicky gets a very special one ready. But this is the Melbourne one here. And what's that one over there, Nicky?
Yeah, this is the one I designed. So it's got the totem is like the Willy Wagtail, so we call them Jitty Jitty, little birds. As you see there, we sort of look at them as our descendants from the past who come back, say hello and just talk to us and just pop in and have a yarn.
Yep.
The silhouette it's like the statue that was made by, Lou and a lady by the name of Liz Johnson. So they sort of they made that statue, which is in Perth. And on the back, I've got my hands on there, which sort of the Indigenous people many years ago would do a ceremony or dance where they would put their hands behind each other's back and say, "I've got your back, brother." So that's the sort of.
Brilliant.
Well done, mate.
I got into artwork through the lady Liz Johnson, so she really helped me to get into art. So
I'm not going to lie, Derek's a bit flat that he's not on it, but that's...
They're all good jumpers.
They're all good.
We mentioned this round and how important it is, and you're a big figure in all this, as discussed. You mentioned your statue; it's represented there. Talk about what this meant for you, what a big moment this is, and what an iconic image that is.
Yeah, it's still there. The family hasn't kidnapped it. So, there's no graffiti on it, so I'm happy with it at the moment.
Tell you what, your rig looks better than Sam.
I thought I might have reversed the unit up and took it down a cash converter or something. No, it's amazing just to know where it is, because the old campsites, the Aboriginal people used to live there many years ago along the river.
Yep.
The story about the Wildga, the serpent snake, which is the history of the river was made, so it's like it's at home. So
it's a wonderful statue, Nicky,
beautiful
and a wonderful tribute. Not my favourite.
It's going to be good this weekend with the Dream Time.
Yeah, that's over there.
Because they're going to march towards it. And
beautiful!
And have a look at it.
Yeah, I meant to be here the long walk, but it's over there now. So.
Nicky and Derek, it's my second favourite statue, by the way. It's my favourite will always be a man very close to this show, the Crows legend Mark Ricciuto in his hometown of Waikerie, and it's my favourite. Look, sure, it could have been bigger. I still think it's a wonderful tribute to a legend of the game. That's all. It should never be forgotten.
We have to get a rig on. Can I just ask both of you, your favourite Indigenous, as a kid growing up, has there been one Indigenous player that you've loved watching better than anyone else?
Nick and I will have the same.
The answer?
The same answer.
Who is it?
Stephen Michael.
Really? He was that. He was that for so many kids, wasn't he?
He was amazing.
Yeah, right.
Because we're related on the Michaels side as well, so it's like we just sort of it's a family thing that we did as kids growing up. We would run around on the old reserve days with bare feet and just kick a footy.
Yep.
And it sort of taught us, watching how these guys, great players. A lot of Indigenous players back in the old days.
He's an unbelievable player. I would have loved to see him play, the VFL, but he decided to stay back in WA. But some of the games he played at South Fremantle was unbelievable. The games, all the Aboriginal people, the Noongar people, and the other Aboriginal communities, they saw barrack for different teams in the waffle, but they also idolised Stephen Michael.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I'd like to see a lot more statues of Indigenous players and athletes that performed for Australia in like the Sydneys, the Cathy Freemans, and everybody else. And there's people out there who are willing to do that. Like with the lady who did mine, Liz Johnson has done that, and she's really. They're amazing to look at when people tell stories about them as well.
There should be
they're
more.
good stories.
There should be more.
It is Australian stories too, but
they are. That's exactly right.
Just on Stephen Michael, as soon as we can, as soon as the borders are open, he's on our show.
Oh, we've got him. You two, thanks for coming in. Nicky, well done on the jumper. Derek, thanks for coming on again. Boys, what an absolute privilege to have those two blokes in here with us tonight in this
Sorry
week.
I couldn't come last week either.
No, it's got, mate.
I waited for Sid Jackson to pick me up, but he... I never had a car.
Don't worry, man. You made it this week, and that's all there is to it. Next week, Rob Sitch, David Neitz, and Beck Dannett, who are going to join us on the show. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have, folks. We'll see you then. Bye for now.